first thing we can do to serve people, is help people feel good. Okay? And it's real easy. Whenever anyone asks you how you are, how are you, I want you to say, terrific. Don't tell them if you don't feel good. They don't care. And they're just going to wish they hadn't asked you. All right. Are you videoing? Tonight was a little different than usual. I'm not in a Sonic, obviously. We are out in the community at the Bossier Youth Leadership graduation banquet. Bossier Youth Leadership is a big deal in Bossier. It's where they show youths the great things about Bossier, hopefully keep the leaders around. So, this is my speech. High school kids are the hardest. They're the toughest audience. So, I practice. We'll see how it goes. So this is a 30-minute speech I'm going to give in 19 minutes because you got to be fast. You got to be fast for the kids. So I take the whole speech and then I break it down into little cards, little 5x8s, and then I make this is it. So this is the speech. Hopefully I won't have to look at this at all. They've heard me speak before. They lock the doors. It's important not always just to do things where you're selling stuff. It's important to be involved in the community and to help out. And that's why I'm here tonight. They invite me to speak. It's just something I enjoy doing. It's part of the community, and it helps Bossier. So that's what I do. So this is Laura with the Chamber, with the Bossier Youth Leadership. She is running this thing. She is running this whole show tonight. This is her first time. So tell me, are you excited, Laura? I mean, what are you most excited about tonight? I'm most excited for the students to get their certificates and shirts because that makes it official. Yes. They're graduates. And there's a lot of kids coming, and it looks like we're running out of chairs. Oh, I hope not. But yeah. No, it just means everyone's on time. They're timely people. That's great. It's going to be a great night. They're good leaders. I have much confidence. This place is well organized, well orchestrated. Thank you. It's going to be one of the best. I hope so. Yeah, I thought I was nervous till I saw her. Oh, well, thanks. No, I'm just kidding. We're so confident. We're going to do great. Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is a good night. Everybody looks nice. You're about to graduate. Got some good food. Silver Star, come on. That's pretty good. So you must be feeling good. Everybody feel good? Yeah, I tell you, I decided a long time ago, if anyone asks me if I feel good, if I don't feel good, I lie about it. I think it's important. Paul, are you telling us that we should have our children lie about their feelings? I'm saying, tea. That's perfect. I'm saying that I like to make people feel good. And people would much rather be around someone who's pretending to feel good than a sincere grump. Okay? So we're going to try this again. I'm going to ask you if you're feeling good, and I want you guys to say yes, like I just asked you if you're ready to get out for summer. Okay? So, does everybody feel good? Yes! Awesome. Thank you. Don't you feel a little better? I thought I heard some teachers louder than the students. So that's, yes, I hear it again. Awesome. So I am the Sonic guy, like David said. People say, a lot of times they ask me, how did you get into the Sonic business? And it actually started with my dad. My dad always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Any of you young folks want to have your own business one day? Any young entrepreneurs in here? Yeah, it's a good thing. My dad wanted to be an entrepreneur his whole life because he was like super poor. He was the seventh of 8 kids, and he was always out there trying to make a deal. You know, he was like, he would sell candy out of his locker. He made a deal. His dad would give him a quarter for lunch. But he made a deal where he could get off campus during lunch, go down the street to a restaurant, wash dishes, eat for free, and keep the quarter. Pretty good. And you're thinking, hey, I wish my teenager was that resourceful. But here's the thing. He wasn't a teenager. He was 8 years old when he did that. I know. I wouldn't let my kids out of the yard before they were 14. He's 8 years old walking down the street. So he always wanted to be in business. He had a lot of jobs, had a lot of businesses. Actually got into the Sonic business when he was in his late 30s. And early years were kind of tough in the Sonic business, and we all worked at the Sonic. I was actually car hopping when I was 12 years old. And it was good. I know, totally illegal. But it was okay because I didn't get paid. But I made good tips because I smiled. I was a cute kid, I'm telling you. I was a cute kid. And they would feel sorry for you. If a lady would say, "Oh, you shouldn't be working, young man," I'd say, "My dad's making me." So that's how I got into the Sonic business. But enough about me in the Sonic business. I want to talk about you guys and leadership, because I love this organization. I've been part of Bossier Youth Leadership for many years because I think it's so important. Everything rises on leadership. To become better leaders, you got to have great teams, have great leaders, great businesses, great schools, right? Great families are led by great leaders. So I don't want you guys to say, "I'm graduated from that, I'm done with leadership." I want you to continue learning and growing as leaders. So I think people have kind of a wrong idea about what leadership really is, though. People think leadership is about being the boss. I want to boss people around. I want to be the leader. But leadership, actually, I've found out through 30 years in business and getting to hang out with some pretty impressive business people, I found out that leadership is really just influence. That's all it is. Leadership is influence. So if we can become better influencers, we can become better leaders. And the way I like to find out how to get better at things is I find people that are really good at it and just do what they did. It's easier than making your own mistakes. So try to learn from other people. So a guy that's really, really big in leadership and influence right now is a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay? So Gary Vaynerchuk, he has a media company worth over $500 million. He was one of the first people with a YouTube channel. He was an early investor in Twitter and Facebook. And what's that thing where you drive your car, but you don't drive somebody else's? Uber. Anyway, so he's got his finger on the pulse of up-and-coming stuff. And he is the authority on social media marketing and influence marketing. Now, if Gary Vaynerchuk was speaking here tonight, when he speaks at events, his fee for a keynote speech is $150,000 for 90 minutes, which is almost as much as I'm making tonight, right, Lara? No? What happened to the budget? That's why I'm here, not Gary Vaynerchuk. So the point is, he knows what he's talking about. So what does Gary Vaynerchuk say about leadership? His philosophy is what he calls his 51-49%. Always give more than you receive. In any business transaction, you should give at least 51 to their 49. And that's a little different from what most people think. Most people think, I want to take more. I don't want to leave money on the table. I want to take more than I get. But Gary Vaynerchuk, he says you should give more than you take. And he's got a $500 million company considered the world's leading authority on influence, right? So, maybe we should think about that. Well, Paul, that's that internet stuff. That stuff, has that been around a while? Well, yeah. There's another guy, John Maxwell, okay? John Maxwell, he's got over 60 books, most of them bestsellers. Inc. magazine, Success magazine, consider him the world's leading authority on leadership. And what's he say? He says leadership is about influencing other people by adding value to others. He says he wakes up, he's 71 years old. Every morning he wakes up and he says, I get up thinking, how can I add value to other people today? That's a little different. People are saying, who can add value to me? But the greatest leaders are saying, how do I add value to others? We need to consider that. Well, Paul, is this just a fad? I mean, how long is this going to last? Well, let's go back about 2,000 years. There's this guy named Jesus. Have you heard of this guy? He was a big deal, okay? Now, people have differing ideas on, who he is and what he was, but we can't deny that he was the most influential person who's ever lived. Time itself is divided into BC, before and after his birth. So he's an influential person. And people, when he was around, they would gather around by the thousands to hear him speak, and he didn't charge anything. That's how much I'm making tonight, right, Lara? But he was very influential. And his thoughts on leadership, because everyone wanted him to be the king. They're like, man, you got a lot of power right now. It's time to take over. We want to serve at your right hand, your left hand. They argued over who would be his right-hand man. He said, you don't got it right. I did not come here so you could serve me. I came to serve others. Now, that's totally on its head of what most people think about leadership. But I think it's right. The people that I've met that are the most successful, the most influential in my career are the ones that give the most and add the most value. So that's what great leadership is. If great service is taking care of the other person and not being selfish, that's what great leadership is. So I got to tell you, here's what we got to do. If we know what great service is, then we need to start trying to be servants. in different areas of our lives, right? Paul, this was a pretty good speech until now. But that's okay. I'm going to give you some homework. I'm going to give you some things to make this easy, okay? So I want you to take this home with you. First thing we can do to make people, to serve people, is help people feel good, okay? And it's real easy. Whenever anyone asks you how are you, I want you to say, terrific. Don't tell them if you don't feel good. They don't care. And they're just going to wish they hadn't asked you, okay? So just say, terrific. Okay, let's practice it. I want you guys to practice it. You're going to love it. I'm going to say, how are you? And you're all going to say, terrific, like you really mean it, okay? Everybody ready? Hey, everybody, how are you? Terrific. Awesome. And don't you feel just a little better saying it? You're smiling. So do that. You're going to spread that good cheer, okay? Then the second thing, you got 3 pieces of homework for you. Second piece of homework, when you go to school, I want your teachers to be glad you're in their classroom. I want them to say, oh, it's that guy, not, oh, it's that guy, right? You know how to be that student that the teacher's glad they're there. Be that student. That's what leaders do. And now this is the third one. You're going to go home, and when your parents ask you to do something, I want you to do it. Oh, I just lost all of them. Oh, that's, no. You parents, you were supposed to go, So here, our kids leaving. They're up, they're out of here. I got it. Here's the thing. If you think you hate them asking you 10 times, I promise you they hate asking you 10 times more. They do. And it's work, and you're making it hard on them. Make it easy on them. Serve your parents by making it easy on them because they've been serving you a very long time. Okay? Serving, this leadership stuff, man, it costs. It's not free. It costs. It costs serving. Okay? So, I'm looking out here, man, this is a sharp looking group. I mean, these are sharp kids. I know you guys are great students. You're super good kids. There's a lot of leaders in here. And let me encourage you this one last thing. Go ahead and go out and practice serving. Practice serving. Because that's going to make you the leaders that I know you can really be. Okay? Where's Lisa? Thanks for inviting me back again this year. And thank y'all for your great attention. I hope I served you well. Y'all have a great night. Okay, so tonight was a very different entry. We weren't in a Sonic Drive-In at all. I was actually at this location giving a speech tonight because the Bossier Youth Leadership is an awesome organization in Bossier City. Invited me to come talk about leadership tonight to their kids. It's also something that I've been involved in and sponsored a long time. I like to be involved in the community. I like to be involved in things that help kids. And this is something that fits well with Sonic, with our organization. That's why I like to do it. We might find some future leaders that come work for us by doing this, but we're involved in the community. I hope you enjoyed this one, a little different than usual. Enjoy the speech. If you like, share it with somebody, but come back and see us next time.